This is the 46 of 46 podcast Summit Sessions, where we'll talk all things Adirondack, backcountry, and beyond. From high peak stories and adventures to trail tips and tricks, we'll dive deep into the heart of these mountains and the people who passionately climb them. Adirondack maps and spruce traps, bushwhacks and backpacks. It's all here on the 46 of 46 Summit Sessions. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to an April Fool's Day edition of the Summit Sessions here on the 46 of 46 podcast. I had no intention of doing an episode this week, a Summit Sessions episode, but due to the big news out of the high peaks with the new pilot reservation system and the Adirondack Mountain Reserve, it felt like it was appropriate to have a spontaneous, impromptu episode, and I have Jonathan Zaharek, your favorite person here on the podcast, with me in studio to discuss in front of all of you and in front of the microphone kind of our thoughts. It's going to be very informal, and we're just going to go through what has been announced and what this new pilot reservation system is going to be. And we are also going to go through a lot of comments and messages that people have sent me to let your voices be heard in some small way and to get a good idea as to what people are thinking regarding this new system that is going to begin on May 1st, exactly 1 month from today. Happy April Fool's Day, everybody. Jonathan, welcome to the studio.
Hey again.
You were at Whiteface about a half hour ago. How was it today?
Beautiful powder April 1st day. Surprising. So it was nice.
I bet it was very icy due to this snow that we got last night. It was like that wet, gross,
not up high.
Snow.
Shockingly, from the summit chair down, it was actually pretty solid.
Well, that's good. Terrific. So you did a High Peaks weekly report, which is on YouTube. Anyone can go look Jonathan up, and you can find his High Peak weekly reports. You did that this week, all about the pilot system.
Yeah.
So you clearly have some opinions on it too, which is terrific. So what is your initial thought? Point blank, what is your initial thought on the pilot system?
So initially, I feel like I found myself viewing it how a lot of people were, because the first thing that you just see is permit. That's it. And that's the first thing. And then out of all of that, just red flags start popping up. And you start, kind of, I don't even know, like subjectively looking at it. Well,
I think when we go from, free reign everywhere to suddenly, change is happening, and change is hard no matter what. And this being the change, I can understand people's initial like, whoa, pump the brakes here. What's happening? But it's kind of like the ripping the Band-Aid off kind of idea, where it's just like they're just going for it. But anyways, so continue. Tell me more about your thoughts here.
So at first, I don't know why, I just thought it was the DEC's way of kind of implementing that first. Okay, we want in long term to do permits. Let's pick a spot and see how it works.
Sure.
And that, at first I was just like, whoa. Is this what actually, like, is this really going to happen? Is this actually the route we're going here? And for most of the day when they released it for the first time, I was just feeling that the whole time and just talking to a lot of people and seeing their thoughts on it. And then later that day, the DEC put out a clarified response, which I feel like, at first they shouldn't have had to. But they did. And once I read that, I realized that a permit system from them was still a last resort option, and the AMR falls into a very specific category, and why they decided to initiate this. And they said, or at least the commissioner said, that the permit system is still, at the end of the day, a last resort, and they're not necessarily looking to do that anywhere else in the park.
Don't hit your microphone, Jonathan. Come on.
A little animated.
Yes.
So my initial thoughts were just, probably most people that are listening to this probably have the exact same thing, just like permit. Oh my gosh, are my rights going to be taken away? Is my summer going to be ruined? Is the park, what happened to freedom of the land and it's public and all this other stuff, and you just start wondering like all these questions, and so
Sure.
people like running with chicken with their heads cut off almost.
I feel like, so, I mean, right off the bat, I am, as many people probably could have assumed, just if they've listened to this podcast, they could probably assume I'm not about it. However, I will say it is definitely the type of thing where people do need to just like take a step back. It's not as extreme, I guess is the word I would use, as some people have made it out to be without reading, like actually reading into what is happening. However, with that said, and when I say it's not as extreme, it's because it's a big park. There's so many places you could go, and in the scheme of the amount of places that you can go hike, the trails and whatnot on the AMR property is a very small percentage. But with that said, I still am not about it at all. And, we'll go through it and we'll give our commentary. But we're going to read the DEC press release from Monday, March 29th, 2021. DEC and Adirondack Mountain Reserve to pilot new reservation system in 2021. So we're just going to read through this article, and we're going to stop and add some commentary to it, because I feel like by just reading the exact words put out, that you, the listener, will be a lot more educated on what has happened, because from reading comments from people, I have definitely been able to kind of figure out who has actually read what has been released and who hasn't read what's been released based on comments.
Now, for the record, before we get into that, just so people have an idea of where I stand currently, I am more leaning like for it than I am against it. And I think what a better way to put it is I understand the justification by their reasoning, and I agree that there definitely needs to be something in place to deal with the issues that are happening there at the AMR. But I disagree with some of their approach, certain restrictions. And I'm sure they spent a lot of time thinking about how they could go about this appropriately. And I'm sure, it's a pilot system, so there's going to be flaws. There's going to be good things and bad things. So they're going to work on it and see it. So I'm for the idea, just in this particular spot in general, because there is an issue that needs to be addressed that we can't ignore, because at the end of the day, it is a pretty dangerous place.
Yes.
Because of how many people are coming there.
Totally. I think before we even get into it, I'm going to go so many of you who listen to my show are probably familiar with Mr. Troy. He is Troy's Instagram page is Troy618. Shout out to you, Troy. He gathered a ton of people's opinions and this and that on it, and also asked for mine, and I sent him. Basically, I tried to sum up my whole thoughts, and I'm just going to read what I sent to him, because I think this pretty much sums up my opinion of it in a short and concise manner. Troy also put out on his website, which is summitsandscience.com, if you want to check that out. He put out basically, he compiled so many people's opinions in this and that, so you can see a whole bunch of different comments. But you can also go on literally every Adirondack Facebook page or adkhighpeaks.com, that forum, and read. But here's kind of my, point blank opinion, and this is what I sent him, and I stand by this. This is my opinion. James Appleton of the 46 of 46 podcast, your favorite outdoors podcaster, had this to say. No one will argue against the need for change within the High Peaks due to the growing demand the High Peaks has seen over the last couple of decades. I do not believe a reservation system, quote unquote, will solve any issue, and I believe it isn't even a Band-Aid to the real problem. The Adirondack Park is a destination for visitors for the exact reason locals like myself live here, and people like Jonathan moved here, the great outdoors. We need to evolve and expand the park's infrastructure shortcomings. Infrastructure. Specifically in Keene and Keene Valley, which are towns that haven't seen changes in decades to accommodate, embrace, and enjoy the opportunities that an ever-growing demand brings to an area. We should be welcoming people to come enjoy the outdoors instead of trying to keep people out, because the only way to create true stewards of the land is to create opportunities for people to experience for themselves the beauty and majesty that is the Adirondack Park. So that is my official stance. I do feel this is a Band-Aid to cover the shortcomings that Keene and Keene Valley continue to demonstrate, and not getting to the root of the problem. The root is parking and infrastructure. And you say that word to some people and they get so bent out of shape. But I'm a kind of a bottom line type of person, and bottom line, that's ultimately what the ADK Park needs in general, but really badly what Keene and Keene Valley need to do. Parking. I think a shuttle system fixes a lot of these issues. But anyways, there's obviously so much more to that, and I'm just one person, so I mean, really, who cares what I think? But that's my opinion on the subject. But let's read the official press release, and Jonathan and I are just going to stop when we feel like it and make a comment and address it literally line by line. As if you guys who listen to the podcast don't hear me read things enough, you're going to hear me read now, live and in person. The New York State Department of Environmental Conservation and Adirondack Mountain Reserve today announced the launch of a pilot reservation system that was developed in partnership to provide reliable access and address public safety at a particularly crowded corner on Route 73 in the town of Keene in the Adirondack High Peaks region. The reservation system, operated by AMR, will facilitate safer public access to trailheads through the AMR Gate and for Newmark and Round Mountains, and improve visitors' trip planning and preparation by ensuring they have guaranteed parking upon arrival. All right, so first paragraph. Safety. I don't think anybody would argue that Route 73 is a madhouse, especially in the summer and especially around there. Safety is a huge issue, and I've said this before to you, just in our own conversations. I don't think big safety things will be addressed until somebody gets smoked at their car, or smoked by a car on Route 73. And anyone who's driven there in the middle of the summer, especially in the middle of the day, knows like people are just crazy. It's like they act like they aren't on a 55-mile-an-hour road, walking in the middle of the road or crossing or at the side of their car. Yes, regardless how you feel, everyone knows safety is an issue over there. Am I skeptical that people aren't going to continue illegally parking if they've already been illegally parking? I'm quite skeptical.
If there's laws in place, that people will find ways to break them. They always do.
They always do. Now, that's again, I don't know if that's going to necessarily do it, but I'm also, it's coming, so let's, I guess, be a team player to try to see if it will facilitate that. There was another thing I wanted to mention here. Facilitate safer public access to trailheads. I guess I don't understand how this system facilitates safer public access to the trailhead.
Sure, because they're going from the 28 spots to 70 spots, and we were having a hard time with just this past summer when there was only 28 spots open and people just legally parking up alongside of the road. I'm not sure if they said they were going to put in more placement so people don't park alongside of the road, and that's why they're opening the spot. Yeah,
I guess you just kind of wonder, how is it going to be paroled? That's not the best word, but that's basically sums it up. How is it going?
Everyone's trying to get there at the same time now.
Totally,
because they know they have to get there at 5 a.m.
And yeah, we'll get to the whole time thing. But yeah, I guess I read that and I don't quite connect the dots. But we'll continue because that whole safety thing is plagued in this article. All right, DEC Commissioner Basil Sigos. Sorry if I butchered your name. But if you want to come on the podcast and correct me and have a conversation, hit me up. With the increasing number of visitors to trailheads accessed through AMR, exacerbated in 2020 by New Yorkers looking for a nature break as a respite from COVID-19. Also, side note, I don't think we should make huge changes based on a global pandemic. That's not real life. But anyways, DEC and AMR are working together to promote sustainable recreation and protect public safety. To address concerns at this particular location, we are excited to announce this unique pilot reservation system, which will help protect visitors and our natural resources. while also ensuring equitable access and educating visitors about sustainable use.